All right, so you should definitely say something like 963 was started out of my garage. And now we're in a room.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Yes. That's good.
We're back.
We're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're
and,
back.
And we're in the same, I'm just, changed the hat. Just changed the shirt.
I didn't change anything.
We're in the same spot. It's okay. You're good.
I literally didn't change anything.
It's okay.
It's a new day. I didn't change anything.
This is the 963 podcast. Today we're really talking about founder stories. Kind of, we want this kind of series to like really showcase a little bit about where people were, where they came from, and where they are today. Some of it might include like clients or other artists or people that are kind of in the community a little bit.
And where we started.
And where we started.
And where we are now.
Yeah, and you know what? The title of this, ChatGPT came up with this for us. I don't want to own it. I don't feel like owning it. But it's from garage to building an empire. But it's not really where we are today. It's
let's tell us tell us the origin story of 963.
So we started in a deep dark alley in the middle of Chicago streets with the Irish mob. Mm-hmm. And when we were there, the aliens and the cowboys.
Dude, this is sick. Dude, I didn't know this about 963.
We started in a deep dark alley in the middle of Myrtle Beach, and we were scraping by and just taking pictures of rats with our phones. That's
actually sounds pretty similar to what we just did last week.
I'm not gonna lie,
that was too far off.
Very close to that. The Myrtle Beach rats.
Instead it was squirrels.
Squirrels. But rats and squirrels.
Yeah.
Okay.
More to come out about that.
More to come. So where we started with this company with the idea that we wanted kind of a haven for Christian filmmakers, right? Mm-hmm. And we wanted a space where we could grow together, and we used each other's strengths to be able to kind of get to a point. And it was good. Like, I think it was really good to showcase the skill set that we have and where we could go with it. And over time, man, it just like showed that a lot of people, especially in a new market that's getting used to video, I guess at a smaller level, because there's not a lot of creative here, right? There's good talent, right? Don't get me wrong, but it's a very small market for creative in this area.
Yeah, and we're surrounded by two pretty big markets of Charleston, below us, and Wilmington above us.
Yeah, and then don't forget Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's huge.
Yeah.
So. And there's nothing wrong with like a market being small. It's just, I think that people saw this crew that was, trying to be a professional creative, which is already, it's already hard enough as it is, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard to wrangle creatives and help them kind of do what they need to do to make sure the clients get served the best way with the best ROI at the same time, right? I think in this market to be successful, as far as what I've seen so far, I don't know if it's the easiest thing to be able to separate creative from marketing. I don't think that there's an easy wall there that you can build.
Yeah.
But I do think that you need to be able to make sure that people are taken care of. Yeah. And I think that's what we did. I think we really made sure that the clients were, their businesses were taken care of the right way.
Yeah.
So
well, that's a good thing about having a tighter knit community here is that you get a better relationship with those clients. It's not as big of an industry here, so it's not huge numbers that we're doing. Some budgets will be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
A lot of the clientele here don't have huge budgets. So, but with that, you also get like more of a connection with them. You get more of like a family kind of feel. And,
yeah. And that's something that I really do like. I've been on the bigger sets. I've been on, film production, things like that, or commercial production. And those sets are cool. There's nothing wrong with them. I have nothing against them. It's something that, I have personally had a little bit harder time breaking into them. But at the same time, when I have been able to be on something that's a little bit bigger with more crew, more talent, all the things, it's extremely segmented, and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's nothing that you can do that's collaborative as much at the lower ranks. It's usually like the DP, director, producer.
Yeah,
You know?
and there's not much direction to be given, or
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, collaboration is probably the best word. But like,
Yeah.
if you see something that like, hey, this would look cool, let's try it out real quick and see what it looks like.
That's
not happening.
You
right now.
can't. Yeah. You. There's not a lot of room to be like, even a first AC, you know, and be like, hey, we could try this, you know, or
Yep.
like a grip, you know, and be like, hey, we could do that, you know,
Yep.
creatively for the image, right? There's differences for different positions for, you know, those things on sets for people to be collaborative in their own spaces, right? So I think what's beautiful about how we work is, you know, it's very much a communication thing on set, and trying to make sure that the talent and time and clients are all taken care of in that time domain. And we can move pretty quickly and get clients a pretty large sum of what they're getting for their budget, right?
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of bang for their buck. And so that's kind of what we kept doing, is like, okay, if we're gonna try and serve an area that doesn't have a lot of creative already in it, how can we accomplish that mission and then also take care of them so that they could come back to us and be able to make sure we keep running campaigns and growing that side even more so, right? You know, I there's been a lot of producers that have reached out to me to have conversations, just because there's a lot of creatives outside this area. And I've had a lot of conversations with people in those areas, from Charlotte, from Wilmington, from Charleston. And I had one yesterday with a guy out of Columbia, actually, the Pearson Collective. Cool dude. And we were having conversations about like, hey, like, not a lot of people are doing this here. Not a lot of people are doing that, what we're technically doing for small business in this area. A lot of the creatives, yeah, they might get a few accounts here and there, small little ones here and there, but they're relying on bigger shoots that come to this area to be able to provide for them. And we're able to have more consistent work, I think, by being different.
Yeah, being like almost like a boutique kind of setup.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I don't mind that. I think it's really neat. And to be able to be extremely customizable for the clients, right? We've still been able to scale pretty well. We still are able to get bigger jobs in the door and make it make sense for anyone who has a budget that we can work with, right?
Yep.
And it's not until like we touch a budget that makes sense to bring on more crew to do these things, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's something to really think about and keep in mind, and keep important as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to be able to cater to a bigger project if needed, but but it's cool that we're able to service from you know, the low end of the spectrum up to the higher ends, you know, if needed. Because in Myrtle Beach, you know, the businesses here are very niche. It's a lot of tourism. So there's not huge budgets to work with, and and being able to cater to tell people stories that are, you know, on a lower end, that's fine. And we want to be able to tell those stories too.
Yeah, they're all respectable. They're all, you know, we're all made in the image of God, right? So there's always ways to be able to work with budgets that make sense, and we just try to adhere to those people that may not have the biggest budgets. And if they can't work with us for the reason of, you know, monetary, or just, you know, not having the available funds, there's a lot of other creatives in the area that can help take care of those people, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a difference of, hey, product is product, and we have a certain baseline where we can go, right? I think the origin story cannot be talked about 963 without talking about my beautiful wife, Megan. Like there's nothing in this world that I could have done even close to where this company's at without her help. She is the backbone to making sure that this ship runs whatever smoothly as it is right now. It does run actually really smooth with her help. There's not a lot of conversations or things I would have done without her help involved. She actually has a degree in videography from her college.
wild.
Isn't that crazy? So
Yep.
she got like a minor in it, and she was like back in the day using Final Cut Pro and like being nitty gritty with it. She actually had a name for the company that she was gonna start right out of college, and it was called Black Hat Studios. It was pretty neat, and that
That's
was
awesome.
her beginning. Like that's where she actually fell in love with video. And over time, you know, she kind of went into some different niches and found some different ways. But it's kind of cool because what happened was we went on a trip to Bora Bora with for our honeymoon, right? And she told me, if you're gonna buy that GoPro, you got to make something with it. And I had zero idea what that meant. I had no clue what make something with it meant, right? I had some buddies that were like in video that were doing really good work at the time. And
Yeah.
I knew that it was like a thing. I just didn't know anything really past
Yeah,
that,
you think
right?
you take a GoPro video,
Yeah.
you know, put it on your YouTube or your Facebook,
Yeah.
and you know,
For what reason? Memories?
Cool.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, right? That was
Yep.
it. There wasn't anything past memories that I thought that was, you know, needed.
yeah.
Right.
So she's like, "Here, how about you take this this little camera instead of just taking cool videos? How about you make something of it?
Right.
You know, make a product, make something
something
people are
make
gonna
something
enjoy.
you're proud of.
Yeah.
You know.
That adds a whole new layer of
Right.
you know perspective to it.
Yeah.
That's
and,
wild.
And if you like, if you know anything about editing, what I'm about to say is gonna just make you cry and understand how much pain.
Oh yeah.
So I would use these really cheap hard drives way back in the day, and I didn't know anything about specs and computers and nothing. So I'd be like fighting tooth and nail trying to get frame changed to 40%, 60 frames per second, and trying to be like, hey, what's going on here? I don't understand why my computer's not moving and doing its thing, and like losing my mind because I've got like a 8 GB RAM computer trying to fight, Final Cut or whatever.
Dude, that was me whenever I was in elementary school trying to run Roller Coaster Tycoon 3
Oh yeah.
on my, desktop computer.
Oh dude, yeah.
And I was trying to watch, people ride a roller coaster.
That's all you wanted to do.
And they were moving at like snail pace. I was pissed.
They were just like,
Yeah.
like stop motion.
So you were me like 20 years ago.
I think I spent at least 4 months straight waking up every morning around 5, going to bed around 8. Not going to bed, stopping my day at 8.
Yeah.
And learning YouTube videos about how to do editing and shooting and all this sort of stuff. And I was working like side jobs at the time. I was actually doing pest control for a little bit of time. And when I wasn't getting leads to go do work, I was like watching YouTube videos on how to edit and shoot.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm like sitting in my truck waiting on a call to come in, and I'm just like, how to input footage into Final Cut Pro Project 1. It's just, it was just stupid. It was just like, scrapping by and trying to figure out like what could work. And it was funny because, everyone starts doing video at a certain pace.
Yep.
And some people, if they don't have understanding or a way or someone to help them get to a point, like you got to get clients somehow, right? Yeah. You got to one of the first videos I did was with Fittest of the Coast. I think it was my first actual paid shoot. And I'm like looking up like how to storyboard. Like I was like looking up like, what is a storyboard?
How do I change f-stop? What is frame rate?
What is ISO? I don't understand. And like at the time, your boy's only got so much equipment, right?
Oh, yeah.
He had like a A6100. It's actually sitting up on the shelf.
Dude, grab that bad boy.
Grab this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Manual mode.
This is...
or auto mode.
Auto... Yeah, everything. Auto ISO, auto aperture, auto everything. This thing was a little beast when I used it. But it was like, hey, I mean, you got to use what you got to use.
Absolutely,
right?
dude.
It was funny. First DP that I ever met was Sean Tillman. He and I got in a little bit of a beef because I stood in front of his camera while he went to a CrossFit event, and I decided that I was going to try and ruin his footage, whatever that meant. But in that conversation, I told him, Yeah, I shot for like 2 years straight on 16 millimeter with no idea that there was a zoom lens out there, like zero clue. And I was just doing what I could with what I knew. I didn't have any community.
Yeah,
I didn't have
dude.
any people.
That's how it starts, though.
It's, you know, you got to start somewhere. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, I had the blessing to, have you as a friend to, when I started the company or started working with you, I get a ton of knowledge just from all the, crap you had to go through. So it's like, just all the little stuff.
Yeah.
Even today, I'll like call you up like, hey,
yeah, what's this little thing that we could do?
How do I do this in DaVinci?
Yeah.
And then, 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, do this and this and this and this. And I was like, oh, I've been spending 6 hours of my life on that, tearing my fingernails out. So.
But that's honestly like where it came from. Like, when I think that first CrossFit video I did with Fittest of the Coast, we'll have to put this up when, just to show it.
You should put like a side by side of like the first one you did versus
like
the
one we
of the
just did.
ones. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be nuts. So, the first video I did was great. It was a little promo.
Mm-hmm.
Probably took me 24 hours to edit the thing, dude. And now I would probably do the same thing at way better quality than I did then. Now at maybe 4 hours of editing. Yep. Or I would, as a business owner, you've got to learn what's your most valuable time and pass it off to someone else to be able to handle that. And not that your time is more valuable than someone else, but as a driver for the company, I've got to be doing other things to make sure we're successful, right? Yep. So those types of things, I learned over time on how to not just be a creative, right? Not just like shoot more than on a 16 millimeter lens and APS-C camera. It's APS-C. And learn how to be creative in its own right? Be creative in the business mindset as well. How to do different things, how to showcase creatives, maybe how to do things a little bit easier and better for themselves.
Yeah.
And they're creatives. They got their own way of doing things, right? So when we actually first started the company, there was a lot of struggle when trying to understand the best ways to go about certain things. And no one was wrong.
Yeah.
But everyone had their different ways of doing things. But we just said, hey, maybe we try it this way because of the workflow later on is this way.
Yeah.
Right.
When you first got started, what was the biggest tool you used to get to the point you're at now? Like, was there someone that influenced you a lot online or that you watched or learned from?
So, a lot of people laugh at me when I say this, but I was a Sam Colder baby. I like the guy's stuff. He's got cool stuff. He's very much an influencer, right? Yep. He's one of those type, which, take it or leave it. I don't really, but I think that learning from him helped me develop a different style than I think that a lot of people were used to down here. And that's something else that helped out a lot. I had a lot of people, reach out because of the style, not just because of, not to say it's better, just because it's different. Yeah. And they weren't used to it. So they tended to lean towards it for whatever purposes that they had. Right. So we would, watch a video that he did and try to mimic some things. Watch a video that he did, try to mimic some things. And I'm not trying to copy everything, but art is inspired from everyone else all the time.
I mean, that's influencer, like it is in the name. It's, they're influencing culture. Mm-hmm. And the reason they get famous is because they're doing something that other people aren't. And, the population likes it. So,
right.
So yeah, I mean, that's how you learn. That's how you get better. And, influencers are there to help your work.
Right. And just get different ideas. Yeah. Right. Like, I think the creative community gets so stuck on, being an independent artist and not being someone who's more than a teammate, and there's ways to be collaborative, but I've got to make sure and figure out what ways are collaborative and make sense for an actual business. Yeah. Not just a freelancer. Because,
not just for fun.
Right. Yeah. If I want to build something a little bit bigger than myself and try to find ways to make it easier for other people to be creative and have an opportunity in this industry, then I've got to find ways that are a little unorthodox to be able to scale and grow.
Yeah.
Right. It's not easy. So I think that a lot of people, when we were first getting started, didn't quite understand that, and that's their thing. You know, they're doing their own thing, and we're doing ours.
Yep.
That's really where I separated from. You know, I wasn't 963 wasn't there forever, right? Like it wasn't the first thing that happened. It wouldn't just come out the door.
KJM Studios.
KJM Studios. Holy crap! That's how do you know that one? How do you
Your
know?
email.
Oh well, that's yep. There it goes.
Yeah,
yep.
dude.
KJM Studios. Even though there's no studio, even though there's no multiple studios.
This is the studio, dude.
This right here. This is you know, from garage to empire.
Yeah, dude. This is the empire, dude.
From garage to room.
Yeah.
Oh Lord help. I think that if you look at what we've been able to build is a very efficient and effective ROI-based building tool for a lot of our local clients, not our agency clients, because they're interested in certain campaigns. I think that we've done a really good job on trying to make sure that people hear what we're trying to do, because we're not here just trying to run through an ad budget that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We're trying to build tools and trying to build efficiency for our clients so that they can grow themselves.
Yeah, something's repeatable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you're a business owner that has struggled with trying to find a way to grow and you feel stuck, there's not really a way that your product or service is getting out there, and you need a system to be able to make that happen, it's something that we can do. We really can we really can build an affordable way to be able to utilize high-end video production content in a way that helps you shorten the sales cycle and also get known even more so. Video is it's the most converting tool, and it's the fastest way to network. I just don't understand why a lot of people wouldn't utilize video within their business if they're going to try and expand their outreach. So if you guys have any questions, would love to be able to chat, would love to be able to grab a coffee and talk a little bit more about how video can help change your business for the better. Guys, this is the 963 podcast episode number 2. Finally. Ew. Good Lord.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Things and stuff, guys. Things and stuff. Next time we're going to be talking about, let's see what we're going to talk about next time. Got to reference the old Computadora with the old ChatGPT on the old Milanote page.
Yeah.
Things and stuff.
Yeah.
The next one is going to talk about a case study and how we're able to capture so much footage for this client with only a short amount of time, and how that content was able to bring an ROI at the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Cool. Dose.
Peace.